She has an excellent study on it. Okay, so thank you so much, Katrina, for putting that up. Stacey, you're on.
Stacey.
Okay, thank you. So I did receive, let's see, this book, and I guess because it's got a white background, The Obesity Code by Jason Fung, and it was great. I also ordered for my mom and for Yolanda. So we're all on this journey together right now, reading this book. So I started reading the first chapter, and I had to reread it a couple times to just digest it. So I would say that the first chapter, getting started, will take some time, and I would suggest that you would read that over a couple times before you move to the second one, which was a pretty easy read. So I'm going to go ahead and start, and just so that I can stay on track, I'm going to go ahead and read, and I might interject some other things, but I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. The first chapter is entitled How Obesity Became an Epidemic. The author began asking what has always bothered him. Simply, why are doctors so fat? So he says the standard prescription, which we've all heard, is eat less and move more. But does this work? And why are the doctors and experts not following their own advice? Doctors are self-disciplined to obtain all their degrees, fellowships, licenses, and etc. However, how is it conceivable that overweight doctors are unable to control their willpower to follow their own advice? So the author points out that there is a possibility that conventional advice is simply wrong and fundamentally flawed. So he dives into a good foundation first by teaching us some things. He says we first must understand that the disease at hand is human obesity. He also says that we must ask what causes obesity. So he says that people easily answer this. And so he says that usually people say as calories in, as calories go in, calories go out. What is a calorie? A calorie is a unit of food energy used by our body for various functions, such as breathing, building new muscle and bone, pumping blood, and metabolic tasks. Some of our food is stored as fat, and calories in is the food energy that we eat, and calories out is the energy expended for all various metabolic functions. This means when we take in more calories that we burn, this results in weight gain. We all relate to eating too many calories and not enough exercise. So is this true? Is this all, is just this alone true? So he asked many questions through the first chapter. And so he describes the history of how many organizations have done research and how they put out different guidelines. And so he goes on to say that he details more information about experts saying that that there are many diets that we should follow. And back in time, a long time ago, they used to say, well, calories, we used to all concentrate on calories, and that was a main focus. So then back in 1980, the dietary guidelines came out, in which they come out every 5 years, and they suggested that a good diet based off of a pyramid. And so that they also suggested that every day, every single day, we should eat these food items along with breads, pastas, and potatoes. So even the American Heart Association, after that, started weighing in and saying that, asking people to intake less fat, less red meat, fewer eggs, more carbs, along with stop smoking. And so we found out that, the stats did start to decline in blood pressure and high cholesterol numbers, reducing in those that made an effort. But they also pointed out that they wanted us to eat more bread and drink more juice. And all those things we have found out were just not good diet suggestions for us. And so as today we started incorporating more. So today we find ourselves incorporating more unhealthy refined carbs. We've turned away from natural fats and increased our diets and added sugars and processed foods for flavor. The end of this chapter asks us more questions. Could the fault lie in our genetic makeup, not just alone exercise and diet? So then the second chapter let's see, I don't think I wrote down the second chapter's title. Let me tell you what the second chapter is. It's Inheriting Obesity. And this was a really short read, but it started out saying that we can clearly see the obesity runs in families. We see that childhood obesity turns into adult obesity. Studies were conducted with kids from adopted families, and they discovered the health of their body from adopted families. And so what they did was they went and found their biological parents, and the findings showcased kids who were in a healthier environment after being adopted shared the same type of health outcomes as their parents. Even by being in a different environment, they still, if their parents were obese, they seem to have had that same trait, even by growing up in households that were more healthier and their environment and their space was healthy. So the question was posed, why is that? And so they started doing more studies to show there is a lot of correlation in the factors that when kids are being formed, when children are being formed in their mommy's wombs, what the parent eats has a heavy correlation with their health their health as they are born and as they grow up. And so it's important to eat right when you are carrying your babies. And so therefore the notion that we are, a product of our families and of our parents, it holds true. And so also it says that these inherited factors account for only 70% of the tendency to be obese, while the other 30% of factors are associated with activities we can control. So the chapter ends transitioning us to think, is exercise and diet again the answer? So he dives in there by saying, that on both of these chapters, that there's a good foundation understanding our history, but then we need to think more, is it all us just not having the willpower? And we found out through learning through these studies that 70% of it may be out of our control. It's just our traits and our genetic, just from where we come from, our traits, and that the other 30% could be under our own control about what we do, our mindset, and as Moselle has pointed out earlier, all these things that we can do to help contribute to that 30%.
Absolutely. Give her a hand, everybody.
You gave me a lot of homework.
Bert, you sure did raise her right.